Okay, oil change, part of the servicing on the Passat. Okay, the underside. This vehicle has had new DPF. The DPF is somewhere up there because Volkswagen keeps it close to the engine for excess heat, and which is also the problem why they had to discontinue the unit injected engine. That's not the reason. Here it is, oil, it's been drained already. I'll show you a few things, tips and problems. We have the filters here. You drained the oil, and I'll show you a problem with this filter here, a Ryco. I found, if you look at it, doesn't look quite right, and the problem is it seems to have not been failed, but the filter is in this way and the cap screws on and there's a preload. Now there's the problem. This has collapsed. You look at the new one, VIX, I force it, there's no collapse. So I don't know if this, if you measure it, 94, then you go here, this is bigger, so that one seems to have collapsed. So the worst that can happen is actually that oil starts bypassing if it collapses. And I know VIX, supposedly, I don't know, are one of the better brands from my research. That brings us to the next thing. We'll bin this now. Now the next problem is oil. You can't just put any oil into a modern car. So my research shows I wanted to go for this, and I'll show you. You can see low emission performance VW504 and 507 approved synthetic engine oil. It meets the ACEA C3, but that doesn't mean anything if it's not meeting the 507 approved spec. I can't use it in this vehicle. Okay, now to the crown jewel, the Volkswagen Bible. This is in your glove box compartment and it contains everything you need to know about your vehicle. If you don't have this, you probably shouldn't have bought the car, because there is the service history and everything's got to be in here. So if you don't have a service history, you probably have a neglected piece of junk, and that gives Volkswagen bad names because of people neglecting things, and European cars, they don't like neglect. And the Japanese are starting to go the same way. People are going to find it out the hard way. But so be it. Now we're going to have a look at our engine maintenance tips. It's all in here. You're going to have to find technical data. Radio. go. Technical data. Here we go. Now we go. This one's the 4Motion 110 kilowatts. Here we go. Diesel engine with particulate filter, page 34. 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 33. Page 34. Now this part is not from the thing, it starts from here. So if you look at here, it says Volkswagen 507, 506. This is from the other module. We have the 103 kilowatt with diesel particulate filter. So it starts here, it goes here, it goes into the next page, which gives us oil with filter 4 liters. Then it goes here, service type, engine specification, high lubricity multigrade oil, specification 507. So if it don't meet the 507, don't use it. It needs to meet the 507 standard. Go and try and focus on it. .507, see it there. Okay, now let's talk a bit more why I chose this oil. A 507 standard is a low ash, low lubricity, and there is a problem. Like if you have an oil that just meets this standard, it may still cause wear in your engine. So I tried to find the best that I could possibly find, which I can also easily get. And I know of a guy, if you want to look it up, it's thelubepage.com. This guy is an EMS oil, and EMS oil seems to be a good oil. So I done some research, checked out if I could get the EMS oil. Yes, I can get it, but why didn't I use the EMS oil? Well, there's two reasons. First of all, EMS oil is on the other island, so I'd have to import it from the other island with freight and everything, which makes it complicated. Plus, European oils are more specifically different. You'll see it if you watch the EMSOilLubepage.com YouTube channel. He talks about it. And their oil, I found a test, a guy who's shooting out the total quarts against the EMS oil. And this one looks to be better for the long life. Ineo versus EMS oil, 5W40. So I can get this easier. This is just as good, if not better, than the EMS oil. I'll go with this for the low emission vehicles which need to meet 504, 507. You have to have this standard on the box. If it says it's compatible, compatible is a bullshit word. It does not meet. It needs to meet or exceed the manufacturing specs. Okay. Now, put the filter on. It holds in there and I'll show you the preload. This is the power that the cap forces down onto the filter. And if the filter cannot withstand that preload, it's going to collapse like that Ryco filter seems to have been doing. Unless that is a weird design of Ryco. Because I think it was just about still sealing. But it doesn't make sense because the preload is in here. This doesn't need to collapse, and it was shorter than this one is. So it has collapsed by, if it was originally the same size as this one. Hasn't gone brittle, like I've read. that the plastics from excess heat can go brittle, but the engine oil doesn't look like it's been exceedingly hot. So yeah, so much to that. Okay, now servicing oil change. This is the intercooler pipe, the lowest point. The other side is on top, and you need to drain potentially the oil that is accumulating in here. We'll find out how much it is, because if the oil is not drained, it starts accumulating, and you could have a runaway diesel engine, you could have a hydraulic diesel engine blowing up your engine. And XOVCDS shows how he drills a hole into the lowest point on the actual intercooler, which we don't need to do here because we got the clamp to remove to drain the oil. But it makes good sense, even though at first glance drilling a hole into the intercooler doesn't seem to be a good idea. But if you don't drain the oil, you won't have to worry about boost leaks because you won't have an engine left. So I do agree with his practice. It makes good sense, even though at first glance it doesn't seem to be making sense drilling holes and causing boost leaks. But he's got a good videos about the subject. So we'll be draining the oil and see how much is in there. Okay. Draining the oil that potentially is accumulated in here, because you don't want engine oil to be sucked into the engine and hydraulicing. It should be done each time you do a service. XOVCDS has videos and reasons why you do this, and he drills a hole right here into the intercooler where you can't access the piping as easily as you can do here. We'll just pop this open with a hook, screwdriver, whatever. And then we'll pull and we'll see how much comes out. There's nothing coming out, which is really good, because if you don't have any potential boost problems with the vehicle, or any other issues, that means it's good, but you need to check. You can see there's a bit of oil, so it seems to be sucked continuously into the engine and burned before it can accumulate. And I think he's just uploaded a video about a clogged EGR and the reasons why exactly you would do this and how the engine would have blown up if he didn't do what he's done. Okay, watch his video, XOVCDS, search on YouTube. Thank you.